What is happening, people? The Liverpool Prophet back again with another video. More transfer news to talk about. Again, looks like it's heating up again. Quite a bit to talk about again. Like I've said, we have quite a bit to talk about. We have more news on Kerkez and the Liverpool saga and what is happening with that, the latest on that. We have more news on Wirtz, who has apparently been looking for a house in Liverpool to buy, which could be a bit interesting. There's also Rodrigo links now that are kind of appearing out of nowhere. That's something we also have to talk about. And lastly, we've got Luis Diaz's apparent link to the Saudi Pro League, and Barcelona, which is interesting. And then I'd like to look ahead to tomorrow, Sunday's game against Crystal Palace. But without further ado, let's get into this video. So let's start with Wirtz. Now, this saga is very, very interesting because I was sure he was going to go to Bayern Munich. I was pretty much 9 out of 10 sure that Wirtz would be a Bayern Munich player next season, but it looks like there is a twist in fate in this deal. It says that Wirtz is apparently looking to buy a house in Liverpool ahead of a shock transfer twist. Now, does that transfer twist mean he has chosen Liverpool over Bayern Munich? But him looking for a house in Liverpool makes me kind of think that the deal might be done. It kind of makes me feel that maybe we've got the Wirtz deal over the line. It really does. And if we have got that Wirtz deal over the line, boy, everyone is going to be crapping their pants looking at that signing, because that is going to be a real signing of intent and push us forward to that next level. So hopefully this is true news. I hope it is, but it's also, we don't know how reliable certain journalists are, so we'll have to take their word for it for now. But an interesting saga. I initially thought that Wirtz wouldn't have wanted a Liverpool move. I thought his heart would have always been in Bayern Munich, because from what I read, he was very, very adamant that he wanted to stay in Germany, continue in the Bundesliga. He felt at home in Germany. He's German himself, so that probably plays a factor in it, that him being German, he wants to play in his own country. That's where he feels at home. So I was sure that Wirtz would stay in Germany and move to Bayern Munich from Leverkusen, but from what I'm reading now, it looks like he is open to a move to Liverpool, which is very surprising considering what I've just said. The fact that he's open to a move to Liverpool shows that, yeah, his preference would be to stay in Germany, but it doesn't mean that he's not open to moving to another league for another challenge, for another scenery, for a different sort of environment for him. So he's interested, which is positive. So let's hopefully that deal can, bring some positive news, because I'm ready to be hurt again, to be fair. I'm ready to be hurt again with this Liverpool Wirtz thing, but we'll see where it goes. It's getting more and more interesting as the days go by, so we'll see where it goes. Next up, Kerkez. Now, it looks like another club has now entered the race to potentially want to buy Kerkez in Ajax. Joao Hato, Ajax is also a sporting director. It looks like another club has entered the race to sign Kerkez. From what I'm reading, Ajax now have joined the race with Liverpool and potentially Manchester City to get the left back signature. So I feel we've let this drag on too long. We haven't got this deal done quickly, because we should have moved how we did with Frimpong and got the deal done quick, no screwing around, went in and got our player. Because it's kind of dragged on over the course of the week, it looks like City have entered the race. It also looks like Ajax are now entering the race. So this could potentially become a bit of a transfer battle now between three clubs, and I hope that we can get this deal done quickly before Ajax intensify their interest or Manchester City properly ignite their interest, because this is someone we need to get. This is a number one priority. He has been a number one priority, and we really need to get this deal done. Hopefully it gets done, because seeing him go to Manchester City or Ajax, after we have been the only ones linked with him this summer, really, until now, would be a massive kick in the nuts for us. And it would be a very, very, very disappointing way for us to end our left back search. So hopefully Liverpool start moving quickly on this and get it done. But we'll see where this one goes as well. Very interesting also. Now, also I wanted to talk something about Luis Diaz. Now, sorry. It looks like Luis Diaz has or is being linked with a move to the Saudi Pro League or Barcelona, while Darwin Núñez faces uncertain future. For me, this one's no debate. Núñez has to move on at all. I'm not even going to argue. I'm not even going to defend the guy. He has to move on. We need better. But Luis Diaz is a very interesting one. Now, my preference would be to keep Diaz at the club. I think if he fixes up on his finishing, he can be a real player, because all that's missing with Luis Diaz is the finishing. He does all the tech. He's got all the techie skills and all that. It's just the finishing that really lets Luis Diaz down. So if he can just fix up on that, we have a serious player on our hands. But I also wouldn't be opposed to selling if it had to be. I would not be opposed to selling. I know that a lot of South American players' dream is to play for Barcelona or Real Madrid. So if the right offer came in from the Saudi Pro League or Barcelona, I would listen to it, to be fair. I would listen to it. I mean, I want to keep Diaz, but I definitely think we can replace him if he is to move on. So I wouldn't be opposed to this at all. I wouldn't be opposed to this. And I know Luis Diaz's father has expressed that he wants his son to play for Barcelona, or he would like his son to play for Barcelona. That could play a bit of a big deal in this one, but this is an interesting one. I'd much rather sell him to Barcelona than the Saudi Pro League, though. I think Barcelona, he has real potential there. I think in the Saudi Pro League, not really potential there. The league's not talked about as much, so I don't think Diaz would really sign there. But it looks like Luis Diaz wants to stay at Liverpool. From what I've read, he's expressed his intent to stay at Liverpool, which means that he really has no desire to join Barcelona or leave us, which is very good to see. And I hope the club don't force him out or try and push this move, because if we keep Diaz, we can definitely create a player there if he fixes up on his finishing. So I would be personally looking to keep Luis Diaz, but if the right money is there, I would be listening to offers. Also now, with Diaz being linked away from a move to with Diaz being linked with a move away from Liverpool, that has now opened up certain Rodrigo links, and that has intensified them a bit more. Obviously, with Diaz potentially moving on, that opens up the possibility of us bringing in another winger, which we will obviously have to do if Diaz moves on. You can't let a left winger go and not replace him. So that then opens up the door for Rodrigo to come in. Now, I would be happy with Rodrigo. Is he an upgrade from Diaz? Probably. Probably he's an upgrade from Diaz. He is more proven. He's played for Real Madrid, so I would say, yeah, he's an upgrade from Diaz. But would he want to leave Real Madrid? That is the thing. It looks like he does want to leave Real Madrid, like I've said before, but would Real Madrid want to sell him, or is it just a PR stunt off their side? He would definitely be an upgrade from Diaz. I won't argue with that, but letting a left winger go in Diaz and then bringing in another left winger in Rodrigo, I wouldn't be upset about that. I think that'd be good business from Liverpool's perspective, and from Real Madrid's perspective, because they're keeping a player there who really doesn't want to be there. He's not getting no game time. He's not getting a chance to sign. So I think it would be a good move for him and for all parties. I'm also seeing Rodrigo linked to Chelsea. If I'm being totally honest, I think Chelsea is more likely of a destination for Rodrigo, considering that most of their attackers are really bench players. You know, Chelsea really need to work on rebuilding their attack this summer, and I think Rodrigo, he would fit in there really well. He'd probably be their best attacker, hands down, in my opinion, if he went there. I think he'd fit well there, and he'd probably shine a bit more there. I think at Liverpool, you'd have Salah really taking all of our sign in the attack, and I don't think Diaz will move on, so I think Rodrigo is more likely to move to Chelsea over Liverpool, but that's also a really, really interesting one. Obviously, if Diaz moves on it does open up the door to us looking at bringing another left winger to replace him. And there's Rodrigo, even though he plays off the right, I'm pretty sure he can play off the left as well. But it opens up the door to possibilities of who we could bring in and who could be another winger to replace Diaz. But like I said, I don't think Diaz will go anywhere this summer. This summer at least. I'm not sure about next summer. I really am not. But this summer at least, I think Luis Diaz stays at Liverpool and he plays next season. So we'll see where this one goes. Last of all, I wanted to touch on the game against Crystal Palace tomorrow on Sunday. I think we need to get this win. We need to get a win against Crystal Palace on Sunday. Now, we're lifting the trophy regardless, so win, lose, draw doesn't really matter, but come on, man. We want to end this campaign in a positive way, the way we started it. Because this season, we have been absolutely immense in the league. Immense. So, we have to end it on a high. Get a win. A convincing win, if possible. I know Crystal Palace has just won the FA Cup, so they're going to come to Anfield. And they're going to be kind of confident, so this should be an interesting one. Of course, we want to end on a win and get the, trophy lift and win the trophy with a win. You don't really want to be losing at home and then lifting the trophy. Of course, you'll still be celebrating, but it will take a bit of shine off the day, in my opinion, and it's going to be a really, really special day for us to lift that Premier League trophy in the club, in the stadium. It's going to be a really, really special day. I can't wait. And also, we're finally going to get to lift the Premier League trophy with the fans in the ground. I can't express how much I have wanted to see that for a long time. Back in the 1920 season, we was immense under Klopp. Immense. Probably better than we are now. I think that season Liverpool was better than this season's Liverpool. But what happened? COVID happened and we didn't get to celebrate properly in the stadium with the fans. Now, we lifted the trophy after lockdown when we came back and played the last couple of games, but you could see that the feeling wasn't there. That sort of atmosphere wasn't there. That there was something missing when we lifted the trophy that time. And you could tell with the empty stadium, it felt really, really not right. This time, we're getting what we deserve. And we're going to be celebrating in front of the fans in a packed Anfield. And I can't wait. I can't wait. We've waited so long to celebrate a Premier League trophy in front of our fans, and now we're going to get that on Sunday, so hopefully we get the win, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, we will be lifting that Premier League trophy regardless, but we obviously want to win to celebrate along with it. But that's my thoughts. So we talked a bit about Wirtz, we talked a bit about Kerkez, Rodrigo potentially coming in, Diaz potentially moving out, and a little bit about Crystal Palace, the Crystal Palace game on Sunday. But let me know down in the comments, guys, what we think about this, about all these situations. I would love to know what the fans' perspectives. Liverpool Prophet, peace out.